Yeah, we back. It's go time again. Urban Matters, what they doing? Yeah, we're back in the building again. Urban Matters, BMG. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Juice. We got the most humble Professor V in the building with us today again. Oh, yes. Let's run it. You're now in the Urban Matters Black Media Group zone. What's good? What's good, family? We back in the building again. Hey, they thought they got rid of Urban Matters BMG tonight. And so we're coming back at you real quick with a recap of what we discussed today on the live broadcast. We had Mayor Jack Hilligoss in the building, and we are waiting for Mr. Gibson to tap in with us. And we hope that Mr. Gibson comes and taps in with us, man. We really do. And if you guys want to check out Mr. Gibson's video from earlier this week where we interviewed Mr. Gibson, you can go check that out at YouTube, Urban Matters BMG. And you can also check it out on a Facebook page, Urban Matters BMG, or either Urban Matters Matter Live Chat. And you can check it on our chat too. And you can check us out on Instagram. So look it up on Instagram and you can go and see earlier this week where we had Mr. Gibson on we had him on live. Let me see if I can just run it back for y'all because I know we got a lot of naysayers out there, so we need to run that thing back for y'all. Y'all know how y'all do. Some of us was on the short bus, so we got to run it back for you. We got to hold your hand. We got to hold your hand. Because I already know that, oh, well, he didn't do Mr. Gilson. Well, he didn't do the same thing for Mr. Gilson. Okay. Let me pull it up for y'all. Let me hurry up. Let me pull it up real quick for them. Professor, you got a minute? We're going on.
Yeah, all the time in the world, my brother.
And I want to get Mr. Gibson again, and then know what we're gonna do. We're gonna see if we can get Mr. Gibson and Mayor Jack on the same broadcast. How about that? Would y'all love that? That's what we'll do. We're here to please, man. We're here to incorporate intelligent thinking. And so we don't want to leave any stones unturned here at Urban Matters BMG. Okay? We want to make sure that we have our people. Because I mean, technology is so smooth, man, when you really want to figure this thing out. Let's see. Can we go to Mr. Gibson's we had him on, man. We had a great turnout too, man. Y'all got to go check us out, man. The Jack Hilligoss. Y'all go check that Jack Hilligoss out. So let me see here. Let me see if we can pull him up, Professor. Oh, and the technology's been acting real janky, man. So y'all just be patient with us, because until we start owning and controlling our own networks, we just have to deal with it. Would you agree with me, Professor? So let's
Absolutely,
see.
sir.
I'm gonna see if I can pull this up for our folks to show them that we had Mr. Gibson live.
What a great meeting. What a great meeting. What a great meeting.
Let's see. We're gonna see right here. Hold on. Let's see if we can pull Mr. Gibson up. We had Mr. Gibson. And Mr. Gibson, tap in with us, man. We're waiting on a phone call, man. We wanna run it again so everybody can be sure that, hey, we're not playing any type of favoritism over here. The best man is gonna win this thing. I'm just keeping it about 100 with you. Let's see if we can get Mr. Gibson on the hot mic. Here we go. Tell me if you hear it, Professor, coming through.
our city needs right now because we need to go this route.
Let's see if we can get it
Yeah,
Um,
on.
I see you
you know,
got
we
some kind of
have
video.
in our community the big question that I'm hearing from a lot of folks is
Can you
about our
hear it,
growth.
Professor?
Is it managed? Some people don't see it
Yeah,
managed. They just feel like developers just come into our community and they're doing what they want. They doing what they want. They're not paying their fair share, right? So one, I want to know why we haven't did a feasibility study. When the last time I was on a city commissioner, we used to always do studies to making sure that we're
Well,
doing
let's
the
make sure
absolutely
we
best for
we
our
got
community and our
Mr.
citizens'
Gibson
need.
on Urban Matters. As y'all can see right here, here go
We
Urban
do
Matters.
have,
We have him.
we do have
We're
programs such as
recapping.
the CRA program
They
for
go all the crew right
entrepreneurs.
there at the bottom. Y'all see
I
us at the
believe they
bottom
just
right there.
ended
All of
it
us on there.
for bringing
And we're,
restaurants to our
we're, we're letting
community.
Mr. Gibson
But we need to make
give
sure
his
we
pitch.
use those CRA funds wisely and utilize it so that it can benefit entrepreneurs in our community. Um, we need to make sure our developers pay their fair share. Impact
So
fees.
all y'all,
I
who
mean,
what Jews ain't
we
put,
use
we
those
ain't do
funds
nothing for the
for
black dude,
services,
man. Jew,
such as our
man. Jew.
police, our
Jew must be the
recreation,
damn, he
our
must be a
library,
Trump supporter.
et cetera, our infrastructure. We use
Fuck out of here, man.
impact fees. So if we're waiving
I'm
impact
a I'm a
fees,
I'm a
then
I'm a
we're we're
Benjamin
we're, we're
Franklin
waiving a lot
supporter.
of chunk of that money that we could
I'm a George
possibly be
Washington
using
supporter.
to help our.
How about that? All right, that's enough of that. All right, let's get to business, Professor. Let's get to
I'm with you,
business,
my
sir.
brother. I'm with you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Go ahead, Professor. I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Oh, you want me to take the floor?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real simple with you. I must admit that I never met Mayor Hillegross in my life. Um, I've had I've been promised to meet him years ago, but it never came to fruition. Today was my first time ever meeting Pastor Hillegross, and I admit that I was very impressed by the man that I
Right.
met for the first time. You know how they say first impressions are always lasting. Well,
Exactly.
my first impression of the mayor, the pastor mayor, was, I mean, if I had to vote for either candidate today, I would have to say that I would cast my vote to Mayor Hillegross, and here's why: he understands the gaps that he has, and what I was mostly impressed is that he was willing to invite qualified people from the community to help with the process. That's what I heard. I heard
Yeah.
that he acknowledged his gaps. In fact, uh, right off the rip, he said, "Hey, I am not a technology person." I, and the fact that he would invite my company, I've never met this man. And the fact on the first time we met, that he would invite our collaboration to be a part of the process, yeah, I'll vote for that. That sounds like dark green money to me, Dr. Juice.
Sound
I
like
like
dark
dark green
green.
money. I don't know about you.
Sound like dark green money. Dark money, they call it, right? My thing is, right, why do we have this spooky gesture that because you can create a campaign with high level funding that you're automatically corrupt? I just wish that our entertainers and our athletes and our people of leadership would come together on one platform and say, "Hey, guess what? We finna go all in." But we can't do that because we're too busy funding our own oppression by funding Gucci, funding Louis Vuitton, Prada, Nike, Jordans. And so most of these people, like a lot of your grocery store chains, your department store chains, Dillard's, and all these fancy establishments are the main funders of Trump and his campaign. So that means when you go and purchase that brand new Ford or that brand new, these people are the number one contributors to the Trump campaign. So that means who? That means you are the number one contributors to the Trump campaign, but you claim you hate Trump so much. Okay, carry on, Professor. That's a whole nother conversation. But we got to get off the goofy shit, man.
That sounds pretty emotional to me, Dr. Juice.
Yeah, you got to get off the goofy
pretty emotional
stuff, man.
So it's kind of, go ahead.
Let's pull up this data. That's what we're finna do. We're finna chop up this data real quick. And we're finna show y'all real time how easy it is to do research and how easy it is to repair your community, your families, and your economic status in America. Let's run it, Professor. They ain't gonna like this show here. We probably ain't gonna get a lot of likes on this show right here. Because nobody don't want to read. They don't want to read.
We're not here to be liked. We're here to be informative. We're here to be educational.
That's all we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
That's all we're doing.
I give a flip where I'm liked or not.
Correct. Let's run it.
I have some voters registration data.
This is a recap, y'all. This is a recap analysis. And we're going to give you a little bit of Lake Wales voter registration data for 2025. So let's run it, Professor.
Well, that's from last year. And the story that this data tells, and I hope you can see this clearly, blow it up for you just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying.
How about that?
Yeah, I'm blowing it up too.
And this is what I was impressing upon the mayor today is that we are in a digital transformative era right now. So when you think about how we traditionally learn, it's obsolete. Think about it. I teach in Vietnam. I teach students in 27 different countries. So the first thing is that the model of education and the model of learning has changed. Okay, so that reality is something that Black people have struggled with since 1830, and I'm not going to go down that road unless you want me to, in terms of lecturing about how technology and transformation has impacted Black people since 1830 when the telegram was invented. But I digress. But anyway, technology is a very important part of our lives. Data is a very important part of our lives, and I just appreciate the mayor so much for acknowledging the fact that that's a gap. That's something that they're very interested in gaining a better foothold on. I'm just impressed with that. I'm gonna vote for it. But at any rate, this data speaks to voters registration in Lake Wales last year, not this year. Okay. When we look at voters registration, of course, in this ledger, we can see that the green represents the white folks in Lake Wales. The red, it represents the Black folks. The light blue represents the Latino population. So you can clearly see that the white folks between 2015 and 2025, their voters registration really was off the charts. Look at it. So
That's it.
what can we derive out of that? It's obvious that white folks, they understand the value of voting. I mean, it's their system. We get that. So let's look at where we are, Dr. Juice, as black folks. Let's look at the red. You know, let's look at the red. In fact,
Number
in
3.
between,
Right.
Yes, sir. So check this out, Dr. Juice. In terms of performance, you know, I do performance audits. You know, we were talking to the mayor today, and I spoke to him about, you know, I read the performance audit of the incubator the same way he understands the Bible. So, in this case, look at this, Dr. Juice. Look at between 2005 and 2025, right? The Latino voters registration was higher than the black. Look.
That's it.
Almost a 10-year period. So you know, when you look at data, it prompts you to ask a lot of questions. You know, when you look at the data, it invokes a lot of questions. Like, then how was that possible for people? Black folks have been in Lake Wales long before Latinos. Long before. Latinos came on the scene. I think we had one Mexican when I graduated from high school. I think his name was Julio. He the only Mexican I remember being in high school. We just had one. Julio was cool as hell too. I wonder what happened to Julio. But Julio was the only Mexican we had in Lake Wales High School when I was coming. So that's been
Julio.
over 50 years ago, right? So,
yes, sir.
So Julio was the only Mexican I knew. So how then, after 40 years, 50 almost now since 1977, how did voters registration for Latinos outpace black folks in Lake Wales? Now, I have a lot of theories, like I haven't seen any real leadership emerge in terms of voters registration. I saw the NAACP do things, but they're a very weak organization, in my opinion. And they would have to be weak because you have to ask yourself, right? What was the NAACP doing over that 20-year period, right? Because whatever the Latinos were doing, they were beating you. Do you see that data? Does that make sense to you, Dr. Juice?
Make good sense. Where's your bar? You had a bar chart too. You had the bar chart. I think sometimes the level charts are a little bit more challenging to understand. We made this. We put this same information.
See, we
right.
were talking about education. I don't stop you in your tracks. So why would you not try to learn something that's difficult to read versus wanting to go something easy? And that's the kind of, not picking on, well, you know, we fight at home, but those are some of the things that we're gonna have to change our approach to understanding things. We have to change our approach to education, because that explains to me how the Latinos were beating your community. They were outpacing you, outperforming you, however you want to structure that in your mind. The bottom line is the data says that they were winning and you were losing. And if you were racing, if you were running a race right there, over the last 20 years, the Latinos, they were beating you when it came to voters registration. So if that's the case, how can you complain about it? What were you doing? Community find out why.
Right.
You know, why were you not organizing your voters registration program? Why? You got the B Street Community Center there. I think Mr. Gibson said that they were getting 40. He brags about giving them $40,000 a year. So what do they do with their money? Well, $40,000 a year, and you couldn't outpace the Latinos in voters registration? Make that make sense? But that's what the data say. What do you think about that, Dr. Zeus? Your perspective.
All I know is we have to do better. We have to stop wanting to take the easy way out. We always want somebody to hold our hand. I love that line that young man Kendrick Lamar has in his song. He said, "This big dog business, I will not hold your hand." And that's
Well, see,
what
that brings up
conditioned.
another point, right?
Mhm.
You bring up a very interesting concept. I found it very interesting when we were looking at the data from our event today, and it really took me aback to see people asking for assistance. We need assistance. We need assistance. That sounds so Section 8 to me.
Begging. Mhm.
Well, in other words, I mean, that wasn't our approach. I mean, what I really found about our conversation with the mayor, we had something to offer the mayor that he found valuable. The mayor said, "We want to work with y'all." And the reason why the mayor wanted to work with us is because we had something, we had a resource, we had resources that was tangible. And he saw those resources as something valuable to him. And he invited us to work with us. We wasn't on the line said, Mr. Mayor, we need assistance, Mr. Mayor. We want. So why do you think that Black people have that type of mindset? Why did some of the people in your audience, why did they have a business plan? Why didn't they, rather than ask for assistance, why didn't they have something to offer? Explain that to me.
Well, listen,
That
we would
help me
need.
understand that, Dr. Zeus. I mean, you know, what type of psychological model is that? You know, for someone to, you're right. It sounds like begging. We need, and he was like, so what? The people that was asking for assistance, they didn't even know what kind of assistance they wanted. The man said, well, what kind of assistance do you need? They're so used to begging, they didn't even know what they're begging for. They were just begging, subconsciously begging.
No clarification exactly.
Like, okay, you want some? Well, they didn't even know what they wanted.
Nope.
Come on, Dr. Zeus, help work with me. You down there with them folks? Work with me.
I'm trying.
Look, the mayor's like, hey, look, the mayor's like, I'm willing to help, bro, but you got to tell me what you want.
Hey, that happened. That really happened. He's not joking. That really happened. The man want to help, but you gotta have some type of way of articulating or have some kind of clarity in what you're saying. We're so busy and we're so used to like not being accountable for anything that when it's time for us to be responsible and for people to reverence what we're saying, we can't even say it. You blanked out on some, Professor. I lost your camera feed. Where did you go? I lost everything, Professor. I don't know what happened to you, Professor. You just went out on me, bro. I think your camera went out, or maybe your internet went out.
I'm here. I'm here. You know, I run a fireplace.
Okay.
I got to just give me 1 minute. Just keep talking. But I had to go. Well, I had to put my business out there. I got to put wood on the fireplace. It's cold in Atlanta. Oh,
exactly. That's a privilege, man. I wish I had my own fireplace. It's a little chilly down here in Florida. Let's get the temperature. We're in the 50s here. It says everything is clear. 8:56, February 21st. It's 8:56 p.m., February 21st, 2025. And 50 degrees clear. We're supposed to be in the 40s, low 40s. It was in low 40s this morning. Matter of fact, it was 40 degrees on the deck. Did anybody see the stock market today? Let me give you some of these numbers, man. The stock market was tripping today. And y'all know I like the financial news. I like to kind of keep y'all posted and keep y'all abreast on what's going on with the financial news. Let's see if we can pull up some financial numbers. Because you better keep your eyes on this bank. You better keep your eyes on these banks. You better keep your eyes on your bank account. And you better keep your eyes on global finance. Because it's not going to be pretty, man, what's going to get ready to happen. And they're going to blame it on Trump. They're going to blame it on Trump. I just want to show the people the numbers real quick, Professor.
All right.
Just let them see some of these financial numbers. And as you can see, the Dow, look at that drop. That's in one. Let's go back to the 1-day charts. And y'all can see this for yourself. That was a 5-day outlook. But as you can see, that line going down right there. You can see that. Okay, it started right here at 10 a.m., 9:52, 9. You know, the stock market started up at 9:30, right? Soon as that summer gun opened up, she started dropping off. This is the Dow markets. Y'all can watch this. You see that? And by 3:50 p.m., that sucker dropped almost 500 points at least. Listen, no, it went 748. See that right there? Negative 748. That means it dropped almost 2%. That is insane for the market to move that fast. That shows you that there is a threat within our financial markets. And as you can see, and look at that, even Amazon, dang, Amazon dropped at 3. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Amazon dropped. So we ain't gonna blow your head up too much. It's too much brains. I know. I got you. I got you using too much brains tonight. Let's go back to the professor's charts. So let's go ahead, Professor. Let's stay on track.
I have to tell you a quick firewood story since I had to put my business out there about firewood. Did I ever tell you the story about the Yule log?
The Yule log, right? Christmas. Yeah, you told me, but let's.
You want me to tell the story? I can do it in 3 minutes. So do
it in 3 minutes.
Yeah, doing slavery and doing Jim Crow. You know, when we were working on the plantation during the holidays, the master would want a Yule log, because the Yule log, you've seen us sell firewood. I give you firewood lesson. You know, we have the regular firewood sticks, but then you have the big Yule log. That's what I had to go put. Master, the bus man would have him go out there and get a Yule log, because what happens is, as long as that Yule log burn, he didn't require you to work. So what we would do, we would go out there and soak that Yule log in the swamp and let it get waterlogged, so it burn long, so we didn't have to go to work. So I got a big Yule log on the fireplace there. I won't have to run back and forth while we're online. I had to tell you that story.
Awesome. Thank you for that story about the Yule log. So when a lot of these celebrations you're saying, then holiday celebrations pretty much conceals the fact that we are slave-minded and we continue the psychological enslavement of our minds through a lot of holiday celebrations.
Yep, you were conditioned to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, we doing a recap right here quick tonight. And I don't know if anybody's paying any attention. We had a live interview with Mayor Jack Pastor Hilligos. And he literally came in the lion's den of Urban Matters BMG, sat down, and was able to leave the lion's den unscathed. That's straight out of the scriptures of Daniel and the lion's den. So Pastor Jack, you get the Lion Den seal of approval. Because
I'll
listen,
vote for him.
I know some of my folks won't come in here and try to challenge this Lions Den. And I'm just trying to keep it fun, y'all. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep it competitive and I'm trying to keep it intelligent. And if y'all ain't paying attention, intelligence is now the new, it's the new vibe. Y'all see what Kendrick Lamar did, right? Kendrick Lamar made rap music intelligent again. And I salute that brother. Salute that brother, Professor. Kendrick Lamar, you get the Urban Matters BMG salute. My brother, you stood in the paint and you made hip hop lyrical again. You made rap intelligent again. You made beef turn into rap battle. And that's what rap battle. We battled with our lyrics when we were coming up. That's how we decided who was the best rapper alive. Not by vague and veiled threats and violence that just has no type of healthy control or organization. The man Kendrick Lamar made rap intelligent again. The man is a prophet. I salute the young brother. I salute the young lion, and he's standing on his square. And I love what the gentleman is doing. And it's not even about he bought that woke stuff. No, we don't. We're not woke over here. This is all about empowerment, intelligence, intellect. Professor, chime in.
You know, I have to keep talking about the mayor because, like I said, man, I was just totally knocked off my feet, because, and we want to be fair. So I want to see for myself because now, based on my interaction, I didn't see not one bit of ego. And I know, I'm old enough now. I know what bullshit smells like. I promise you, I do. I know what bullshit smells like. And I would put him out there. I would say, hey man, he's full of shit. I can say that. Did you see how that rolled off my tongue? He's full of shit. I can't say that about him. Mayor Hillegross was very humble. He came across respectful, and the fact that he invited us to help, the fact that he was willing to look at new things. And, I'm a technologist. So anybody say that they want to, be a part of a digital transformation, integrate technology and all that, man, I'm passionate about that. So he got my vote. I mean, that's an easy sell for me.
Right.
I hate that. I don't know why at this point, I'm trying to learn now. So why is the man being demonized? Why is the man being demonized? I mean, he seems to me to be highly intelligent, highly competent. He came across, and first impression is always lasting. And then he wasn't whining about anything. He wasn't whining. He wasn't. He owned up to wanting to explore the gaps from our perspective. I was very impressed with that. He didn't make any excuses for anything. He checked off my boxes. So I would like to see if we can get him on again because I think at this point, just based on my perception, that he's been unfairly demonized. And I'll say something else. You talk about It's just like I pointed out before, that whole mindset of, I call it a Section 8 mindset. You know, yeah, those people got money, but you got to be organized, Dr. Juice. You got to have a business plan. And he said that. You can't have nothing and sit back and do nothing and then say, oh, they ain't gonna give us nothing. You got to position yourself to be able to do business. And that's one of the things even since Roosevelt left, when they closed Roosevelt, that's why Lincoln Avenue is dead today. Because there's a gap in the education and knowledge of business. If there wasn't a gap, guess what? Lincoln Avenue would be thriving. Work with me on that.
And that's the thing I'm trying to get people to understand, Professor. They act like sometimes it's some type of honor in being broke as hell and not being concerned about the condition of your community. Like all of us supposed to just say, okay, well, because we're black, we're just going to vote together, even though we're not voting for anything. Let's just vote together. And I just don't understand that concept. And one of the things that I heard, I mean, you may be, my hearing, I'm getting a little older, so my hearing may be a little off, but I heard the gentleman, Mayor Jack, say today, they got all kind of people coming into the area trying to invest.
Right.
And when I hear invest,
Right.
I hear opportunities to make money for me and my family. That's what I hear. Am I hearing things wrong?
Absolutely.
I digress.
Well, you know, I'll give you Asia, and my lectures have to do with digital transformation. You know, I talk about pre-industrial society. I talk about the industrial society. I talk about the post-industrial society. And so in each of these eras, there's been growth. So as the mayor had pointed out, which is obvious, growth is inevitable. So this whole idea of, you know, we're going to have these little villages and then stay like that forever, digital transformation won't allow that. It just won't. The market won't allow that. He can't control the market. So, you know, how can you manage something that you don't want? In other words, this opposition toward change, this opposition toward growth, to me, is insane. You know, but in terms of your audience, you pro-black and all this kind of stuff. You don't know how to do business, which is obvious because you don't have no business on Lincoln Avenue. You can't even buy a bottle of water on Lincoln Avenue. That cuts me to my heart because I was born in 59, and I remember when Lincoln Avenue was thriving. Now, admittedly, it was dependent upon the citrus industry, right? The citrus industry lasted for 100 years. But here again, the writing was on the wall. It wasn't like, citrus just poof, went away. It was on a decline when I was growing up. So the question you got to ask yourself, why did you have leadership, if you want to call it that really recognized that and did it and planned it? So at some point, you got to hold your own self accountable for not being in a position to take opportunities. That man, listen, that man, he offered to do business. We weren't begging for an EBT card, even though I got a senior card now. I'm proud of that. But we weren't asking him for assistance. we were demonstrating, and this, and I'm harping on this because this is where you got to be, and this is what you're going to have to really re-educate yourself. You know, you had two factions there. One, you had us who were, saying, "Hey, we got something for you." That's it. And then you got folks in your audience, and they didn't even know what they wanted. They're so used to begging. And they're the main, some of those folks that I saw, they're the main folks talking bad about white folks. And here you are begging a white man, and you don't even know what you want. And here's the other thing, Dr. Juice. What I really enjoyed about the conversation with Pastor Mayor, he got straight to the point. He wasn't emotional. He wasn't begging nobody. He wasn't, slinging mud. He was straight to the point. And I can appreciate that high level of doing business. He wasn't whining about nothing. I can rock. What the young people say, Dr. Juice, you don't get old. Don't they say I can rock with that? Was I correct by saying that? I'm trying to be cool. I can rock with that.
I can rock with that for sure.
Let's
read some of our comments. Mr. Good Bob. Mr. Good Bob.
I can rock with that.
Exactly. Let's go with some of our young folks. We got a young guy that I really respect in our comment section. He's saying something everybody can relate to in our community. He says also, who wants to hear business-oriented city ordinance ideas? He says something about he turned in his bill keys and his fuel card to his employer. He said they had it coming. Time for a new hustle, for real, for real. So man, this young man is very inspired. He gave his slave master the keys back. He said, "I'm fully out of the truck right now." So he wanna. I'm glad we inspiring somebody to get more empowered through digital technology and digital transformation of things, man. Family, listen, if you're not embracing technology,
you know what? Let me see if I can keep reading Dr. Juice. I want to see if I can dig my daughter up. Give me a minute.
Okay, yeah, see if you can dig her up. Send her a link real quick. Send her the link that and just see if she can come in and just inspire some of these young folks to tell how fun and how interesting it is when you're chopping up this data and this technology and how you can empower yourself and create all types of advantages when it comes to wealth building. Uh-oh, I lost your microphone there. Professor. I don't know what happened. We lost your sound. We lost the sound again, Professor. Can you hear me? Did you mute us, Professor? Okay, Professor might have muted us. But yeah, man, hey, we had a great. Okay, thanks for tuning in, Mr. Goodbye. We appreciate your participation. We're gonna have some we're gonna be able to write you some checks in a minute, Mr. Goodbye, because I love your energy. I love how you chopping up game, and I love how you tuned in, and I love your support of the network. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some real men to step up to OG status. And everybody does not have that wiring. Everybody's not wired like that. We appreciate you, Mr. Goodbar. Thanks for tuning in. And you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start having some contests where we can start tuning in and rewarding our folks for being attentive and what have you. Hey, Professor. Yes, sir.
Yeah, she wants to do it. You know, she a beast, man. She been grinding all day. You know, I actually woke her up. So, but she want to do it.
That's
She's
cool.
She's
we'll get her
again. It. She want to do it, and I think that would be really great. Have her on so that she can connect to some.
We'll get her.
You know. Yeah. No,
we'll catch up with her. Ain't no thing.
Yeah. But I want to definitely, you know, we talked about the young people. I definitely want to give them just a different perspective. You know, when I think about
Right.
the exposure that they have down there, they need to see something different. They need to see, you know, real strong black men. You know, all this, what do you call it? Moist. That's one of your favorite. All this moistness, all this sassy stuff. They got to see something different, bro. Something different.
Gotta see something different, my guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what needs to be. All this,
Absolutely.
you know, it's too much. It's too much damn whining. Too much whining. Too
Yes,
much.
sir.
Too much emotional stuff. And it's very difficult to
Yep.
be strategic and innovative, creative when you're in whining in moist mode, as you would call it. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, they sassy, man.
No, I really enjoyed
They some sassy, man.
the man. In the fact that, you know, he wants to involve us so that we can be a part of making the community better and bring solutions. Bring solutions. We got plenty of solutions. That's what they want for. Yeah. You know, I think he was also delighted that we would probably breath fresh air to him that we weren't begging him for something.
Yeah,
If I was
exactly.
white,
He
if I
really,
was white, I'd be
yeah, he really
begging me.
enjoyed it. Yeah, he was tapped in,
Begging.
man. He was tapped in big time. He was really, really engaged. He was really, I mean, and I'm not, listen, bro, y'all know it take a lot to put an impression on Dr. Juice. Y'all know this. I give you that work. And I shot some of my best stuff at him, man. He stood up in the paint, man. He really did. He stood up in the paint. And I gotta get a man
And
his
here's
credit.
something else. Most of the interviews that I've seen on social media has been less than 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Do you realize the mayor gave us 45 minutes of his time?
Yes, sir. 45 minutes. And he said he can go longer. He was listen, he was not trying to duck and weave. He wasn't trying to run. Yeah, he literally stood in the paint.
He
He
gave us
literally stood in the
45
paint.
minutes. Usually they give you like 30 minutes, but I mean, he wasn't in no rush. Oh, hey, thank you guys. I got another meeting to go to. And, you know, if he would have got, see you later. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. I was very impressed with that.
Yep. He made a schedule. He cleared his schedule for that. I really appreciate it and I respect that.
And he said
I
he would
really
do it
respect that.
again. And we're going to take him up on it.
Yep.
We're going to take him up on it.
Yep.
What are some of your other comments? I'm trying to monitor your thing, and I see. Give me another comment, Dr. Juice. What they talking about?
That's Mr. Goodboy still going at it. Yeah, we're going to see if we can get Mr. Goodboy in. He said he wants to elaborate on the ordinance issues that we have in the Lake Wells community. Let me see if I can get him on.
Here's what I've seen, Dr. Juice. Somebody got to take the lead. Somebody got to be mature enough.
Somebody got to do it
in terms of the process.
Somebody got to do it, Professor. I just say, I'm making you mad, but somebody got to do it. I got my feet up on the gas, but somebody got to do it.
Look, the citizens, they're saying that the government should engage, but you can't sit back and just beg for assistance. And there's too much information out there not to be creative, not to be innovative. What are you offering? How are you going to participate? That just floored. That just
Right.
floored me. You gonna beg for assistance. You don't even know what you want.
Stop, man. Leave it alone.
Make that
Leave
make
it
sense,
alone.
Dr. Juice.
I'm trying, bro. I just
So I
logically
believe
cannot.
I believe is that type of mindset as to why Lincoln Avenue is empty to this day. That's what I believe. But I'm apolitical, as I've told you before. I'm apolitical. I could care less about party, but I will say this much about Trump. Trump is the best thing that ever happened to black people.
Correct. I think
He's the
so.
best thing that ever happened to black people.
Sometimes we just don't know and realize what's best for us. Sometimes the creator just have to just drop it into our lap, and then we're like, "Oh, what the hell is
Well,
this?" Oh man.
and it's, well, what do I know how your audience, right? And the reason why I say that is that something has to disrupt black folks out of the comfort zone that they've been in for so many years, so many decades. And today, that was a prime example. Now, see, I hear you talk a lot about Democrats and Republicans. If it was a Democrat, they would have, oh yeah, we'll give you something, and then you wouldn't have the motivation or the incentive to do anything. And that's a classic example right there where you've been conditioned. You're so used to begging a party for something. We need, the Democrats, which I don't personally like. I don't like either one of them, but I'm apolitical. But my point is,
You mean the
for the
Democrat, the
last
same Democrats that's they were the founders of the Ku Klux Klan.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
those
what I'm
Democrats.
saying, yeah. So what I'm saying is though, I want to point out you analyze your show, and all I'm saying is that is a classic case of where you've been conditioned to beg for something, and you've been paralyzed. You've been paralyzed economically because you're so used to being fed rather than feeding yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Johnson.
Good evening, all y'all. How's everything?
It was good. We're just chopping up the recap that we had today. Did you get a chance to look at the live feed today with the mayor?
Yes, sir. I was cutting through Groveland on the way back in the Polk County line as the live was broadcasting.
Okay, give us some feedback on what did you think about the whole broadcast today. What's your take on it? Just kind of give us a real
Man,
quick.
because I'm a regular on the live broadcast, I've never seen that many views as so far as I've been dropping in and attending. And I'm like, wow, all of a sudden now y'all want to jump on the bandwagon, but if y'all on the bandwagon, don't jump off when this bus stop or when we roll. Just keep that same energy. And
Gotcha,
and I love that.
gotcha,
And
gotcha.
the mayor, he was on top of everything as far as the questions was coming. He
Absolutely.
he had his resources in line. He had feedback on things that we were asking questions about and things that we shared in the chat.
Absolutely. He was very responsive to that. And he did,
Yes, he
man.
was.
He did. He stood up in the paint, man. I mean, listen, y'all know, man. Juice, y'all already know how Juice put that pressure on you, man.
Yeah.
And the man was not flinching. I'm telling you. And
No.
hey, you're gonna vote. Listen, family, you're gonna vote how you're gonna vote. I can't control how you vote. That's your own prerogative. But as
Right.
I stated this past national elections, you also have the right to not vote, and you also have the right to withhold your vote. And you can use your vote. I always tell people this: you can use your vote as a weapon And
Yes,
that's
yes,
what
sir.
we're not doing. We're not utilizing our vote as a weapon, and we're not utilizing our support as a weapon. And
Guns
if
down,
y'all
minds up.
correct, correct. If y'all ain't paying attention, they watch everything the indigenous melanated people of this country do. Everybody want to trend, do what we're doing.
They want to
Anything that we're
copy.
doing is trendy.
They want to
It's
mimic.
exactly. So you have more political power than you believe to think. So I just want to show you here at this network how we're utilizing that voice and we're weaponizing our voices. We're weaponizing our vote, and we're doing that through social media via by way of digital technology and digital communications. And this we can use social media as a catapult to empower us to be able to give us the organization that we need. As the professor was stating, somebody got on the page today and said that we need assistance, but they couldn't articulate what they needed assistance with
For or with.
for. Right. So I mean, I find that just
I
so
think the
intriguing. I'm
mayor said
glad
that as well, but
you
not in
did.
those words.
He was like, yo, I want to help you, bro, but you gotta fucking communicate to me in the respectful, articulate way. Am I supposed to be a mind reader?
No,
But see, like
I
Kendrick
don't
Lamar
read
say,
minds, but I can count cars at the casino.
correct. Kendrick Lamar say, this is big dog business. I will not hold your hand. That's what they want. They want somebody to hold their hand. Come on, when they mess around and get to that accountability step, they scared to step on that counter. They're like a little baby. This hurt my feet. Oh, it's too high.
This is the day that the Lord has made. You are going to boom, Dr. Juice.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that, my dude.
Because for you to invite the mayor here, I see like the chart that Professor had. You could put your name on the chart and you know
We're gonna
the
elevate. Right.
yes sir.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. We're gonna do some data, and you know what? You're giving us some jewels right now. We're gonna do data on this. It's gonna be a come a time. All of us are gonna. We're right now. We're prophesizing what's about to take place here in Lake Wells, and I'm just
Very
great. I'm just
positively.
I'm just glad to be alive. Thanks for that encouragement, my brother. Thank you
Yes
for that,
sir.
Professor. You want to chime in on what the brother's saying? Y'all give
Well,
me a minute. I got to go to the little
what
girl's
was his
room.
name? Do I know these people? Do help? I don't want to. I want to make sure. I like to know. I know I've been
Tell him
away
who
for
he
a
is,
while,
there.
but do I know anything about him?
Excuse me.
No, I was
My
trying to learn. Are you originally from Lake Wells?
yes sir. I was raised in Highland Park Manor. Um on my father's side of the family, I'm a Johnson, and my mother's side of the family, I'm a Sanchez.
So how are you related to Wanda Sanchez?
What's that? You say Roger Sanchez?
How are you related to Wanda? You know what they call her Beaky?
Beaky is my cousin,
I
as
got it.
well as her
Beaky was my
as well as
classmate.
her
Rest in peace,
yes.
classmate. I got it now. I got it now. Well, that's great. That's great. I've been gone for a while, but I'm in particular impressed with the young people who are not following the status quo. You know, unfortunately, my generation, uh, we failed you. We went through that whole. We were in that experiment. We was in that social experiment called integration. So you didn't get any leadership from us, and that's part of our community problem right? That's part of what that experiment did. I'm 65 now. I came out of Lake Wales in '77, and one of the big things that for me, when I think about the Latino workers that work for on my ranch, every time I take them home, you know the first thing they want to do when I take them home, you know the first thing they want to do,
What's
they
that?
want to stop at Western. They want to stop at Western Union so they can send money back home.
It
That's the
must be
first
a
thing they
it
want
must
to
be
do.
a greater
They
or a
always send
better
money back
plan
home.
over that way, and they
And
just using
when I
our
think
land
about the
for a platform.
deterioration, I'm sorry.
I said there must be a bigger or better plan elsewhere where they're sending the money to, and they're using our land and soil for a platform.
Here's the bottom line: they're supporting their community. They're supporting their community.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is one of the reasons why I believe that the deterioration is taking place in Lake Wales, where I grew up. My name goes back 100 years. I've seen a lot of things.
Yes,
It's
sir.
because we had great people. We got some of the amazing people that left Lake Wales that you don't even know about. I'm talking about from military to executives around the world from Lake Wales. But we don't contribute back to the place. There's people who are running around Lake Wales just like I did when I was a little boy. What about them? Well, what kind of resources are we sending back home to help them? You
We
know,
can't forget about them. We have to embrace them. We have to fulfill them with their needs, just like everybody else has needs. Like you just said that they're over here and they're sending money back home through Western Union and on what's not. But this is our homeland. This is where we're from. Uh, what do we get from our homeland to bring back to our own dinner table versus what they're sending back to hypothetically Guatemala, Mexico, Cuba, etc., etc. I'm like, whoa, yo, petty little $5 that you of our American dollar that you
but
get
but
from
here's the problem
here
with
and you
that.
take it over there and it's it right. That's what I was gonna get into.
Here's the problem with
Exactly.
that.
I'm ready for it.
Here's the problem with that. You don't have any leadership in your community, and you're not organized in a way to even if somebody sent money, who are you gonna send it to? And what little organizations are there now are not
Right.
I mean, people think I'm being ugly, but I'm just being
You being honest,
being a
blunt,
matter of
honest, and
fact.
real.
You we got where you're not physically responsible. You're not physically responsible for managing any kind of money. What evidence? What evidence do you have in Lake Wales where you physically responsible and you let your own house go? You can't even you can't even buy water on Lincoln Avenue, and then we're on the line with the mayor, and the first thing you're gonna ask for assistance, and you're so used to begging you didn't even know what you're begging for. The mayor said, "I want to help, but I got to know what you want." Make that make sense? So you got to get your home in order before all of that happens.
Right.
So all I'm saying is, unfortunately, since my group was the first group that was educated, our education wasn't built for us to come back home and contribute any kind of way. Our education was geared toward get a good education and get a good job. That's what our education was about.
And that was it.
It wasn't about entrepreneurship. It wasn't about, yeah, I'm just telling you how
Exactly.
our education was structured. I was 4 years old. I was 4 years old, civil rights, right? I went to kindergarten on Jackson Avenue, and then I went to kindergarten over there on Cohasset. I can tell you the whole
Now you
history
went to kindergarten on.
in the
I
city,
didn't mean to cut
from
you
when
off.
I
You
was.
said you went to kindergarten on Jackson Avenue. What educational institution was on Jackson Avenue?
Miss Roby Kindergarten. It was a feeder into
Okay.
Roosevelt. So right there, you know where the playground is?
Yes.
You know the playground?
Yes.
So what you next time you do, stand toward the alley. Stand toward the alley. And look at those houses. Because there's all shotgun houses, right?
Right. Just like that shotgun houses on
But
8th
the
Street.
biggest house, when you stand, the biggest house, I think that's where I went to kindergarten.
And that's not a
I went to kindergarten there.
that's a house now, right?
So that's one of the things that Dr. Juice is excited about is you need to get the history out of the old people before they die. And you need to document it.
If they release it.
We
But
haven't done a good job of it.
Right. If they release it, I'm kind of have a little anguish towards the older people in our community as well as family who not elaborating and telling our youth who we come from and who we are related to. As more as the years progress now, um families, they expand and other families are, married into the family tree now. And it confuses the youth to the extent to where you sometimes when you are in the community, you don't know this person you might dislike or this person that you get along with might be your family.
Yeah.
Like I learn something new every day. If I could get into the main topic that I elaborated in the chat to what I want to get off my chest as far as this ordinance idea that I have with these businesses of an experience that I have is much as everybody else who I think that had this experience as well when it comes to just a basic business or um everyday visit throughout your community and wherever you go, as far as going to work, going to school, going to visit someone, or just a regular commute, no matter where you go. A city ordinance or an ideal that might spread is city, county, state, or nationwide. I know if it's going on in my community as well as the community that you share and we share that that we're communicating about.
Tell me the concept again. My internet's been acting freaking weird all day, but please tell me about I want to hear the idea again. I didn't get that.
Oh, when it comes to business, for a prime example, have you ever been to a place of a business or a gas station and you are a potential customer or you're a customer and you want to use the restroom and they say, "Oh, the restroom is out of order. We don't have no restroom." And doggone well, this person that's sitting behind the counter, he might work for 8 or 12 hours or all day. You know, he's not clocking out and going to another business to use a restroom to hinder his dollar amount on his paycheck. And I feel that okay, if I go into this gas station or I go into this store and I need to use this restroom and he tell me it's out of order when I know it's up to par and they treat their restroom like it's their house. I feel like if I can't use your restroom, I don't need to buy nothing out of your store. And I think that your business needs to close until you get your restroom operable for the public or the customers. I mean, I understand somebody who don't want somebody to come to their house and use their bathroom, but this is a place of business where you make money. Like prime example in Lake Wells, Florida, you go to the BP gas station by Spook Hill. You can't use the restroom there. I don't want to buy gas from there. I don't want to get no boiled peanuts. I don't want to buy a beer, a Black and Mild. I don't want nothing to do with that business if I can't use that restroom. But that person that's providing me that service, uh, I don't want to spend my dollar with that person. You know,
Yeah, I think he need to be reported. Then he need to be reported to code enforcement.
right?
So I kind of went in and out, but the gist of what I heard is that he wants bathroom use regulated. Is that what I heard?
Yes. Stop telling your
Is that
customers,
what I
there
heard,
will
Dr.
be
Juice?
customers, that your restroom is out of
Yeah.
order when it's in order, because you think that restroom is just for you
Yeah.
because you work there.
Okay,
You
so
don't deserve to make a
he wants
What
dollar.
he's
bathrooms
saying is
regulated,
that
right? Oh,
right. He's saying that a lot of these immigrant property business owners, such as East Asians, and a lot of people, we call them Arabs, but they're not Arabs. They're actually East
Indians.
Asians and
It could be
Indians and
Caucasians. It could
whatnot.
be
And
certain uppity African Americans. You know,
right, they're taking your money, saying your money is good enough for them, but you're not good enough to use their facilities. And you know that
right?
these
Walmart
facilities are
don't
in
deny you to use their restroom.
operating condition.
Right. I mean, if Walmart got a
all right,
restroom that's
So
out of
that
order, they got a additional restroom you can use. You can go across the highway at the Citgo gas station and you can use their restroom. I understand that they don't want nobody going in the
Zaris, what
restroom
you're
shooting
saying,
up drugs and stuff like that, but
right, right. So you're saying this
well, see,
has
this is
something to
what
do with the ordinances?
go ahead.
You're saying, Zaris, this has something to do with the ordinances?
no, I think we need to, put our foot down on that, make that an ordinance. If we can make that an ordinance and get it
Oh,
established, maybe other cities, other counties, other states will follow suit, just like Ron DeSantis, how he's mocking other states
So
of their rules,
let me address
regulations, and
this,
laws. And
Dr. Juice.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Professor. Hold on, Zaris.
So yeah. So first of all, there's no educational process in the community that's helping people really understand that type of engagement. I believe, based on my first and only conversation I've ever had with that mayor, I believe that he would be open to helping us navigate that process as we go through the process. What I've seen over the
yes,
years is that people there in the community are that's why they've limited all that yelling and screaming and attacking the city commissioners. That's why they won't let you talk. There's no way to conduct business. You're unorganized. So again, this is one of those grassroots type of things, Dr. Juice, that I talked to you about. That's a project. That's organization, and you can go through the process and do it. But you can't go down there yelling and screaming and cussing them people out like that. That ain't gonna work.
no, I won't do that.
But anything is no. But I'm just saying though. Here's the problem. You built the community reputation of doing that. You're a victim. You might be straight, but because of all your neighbors going down there acting the fool, you're in the same bucket.
Yes, sir.
So you're gonna have to build a high level of culture, a high level of approaching those things. It's not high level. You go down there cussing the people out and taking all the time and all this kind of stuff. That's not productive, and that's very low level thinking. Low level. So you got to elevate your level of thinking. I'm saying community wise, not you, but you have a bad community reputation, and you can't go down there whining. You can't go down there whining. See, I've been seeing a lot of that. You can't go down there whining, or you got to do straight business, and that's what I got from the mayor today. Unless he changed, and I doubt that he'll change. He don't give me that impression. I believe that he would be open to discussing anything and going through the process. You just can't talk to the mayor, but I believe that you can get the mayor's support if you go through the proper process and if you show yourself organized. There's no organization down there, and you got to call it out. There's no organization. There's no leadership. It's just a bunch of damn whining. There's no leadership. So you got to figure out a way, if you want to get with Dr. Juice or however you want to organize, you got to operate at a higher level if you look at how you've been operating. Now, it's an uphill battle. You're mad because you're not getting any respect. Folks didn't turn a deaf ear. I would turn a deaf ear. Come down there cussing me out. I don't want to hear that.
Close the door. Don't let.
So those are the kind of challenges that you're going to work. That you have to work through. But I think it's a great idea. Somebody should take the lead on it.
No restroom, no money, because my money, a percentage of it, is going to fund an organization somewhere out of the United States to fund violence and terrorism.
It's a group. What I'm saying to you, that the community is gonna, again, there was a time when Lake Wells, the black community, the Northwest community, however you want to describe it, they had leaders, man. I can name them. They had leaders. They had leaders. Albert Kirtland, he was a city commissioner. He was my cousin. They got a lot of things done because they were organized. So that's where you're going to have to start. And how do you do that? Down there. I'll take my hat off to you when you get it done. Because, see, here's the thing that you have in Lake Wells. Do you know why you have so many churches in Lake Wells? You want to hear that story? You want to hear why you got so many churches in Lake Wells?
They want to divide us.
Nope, that's not the reason why you got churches in Lake Wells. That's not the reason why you got 10 churches on D Street. That's not the reason, sir. Do you know why there's so many black churches in Lake Wells?
That's a good question for
I have the answer, but I want to know if you know.
Answer.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I just have a guess on top of my head, honestly. I've always realized that.
Professor's not. But anyway, Professor's not my nickname. So I'm going to give you the answer. Again, when I talk about transformation, think about it. For the last 100 years, the main economic driver in Central Florida was oranges and fruit, right?
Yes.
So you had people coming from Alabama, like my daddy. You had people coming from Georgia, Mississippi. They were coming to do what? They were coming to pick fruit. So they had their church. The people in Georgia, they had their church. The people in South Carolina, they had their church. This was doing fruit. This is doing when fruit was king. So think about it. if me and you from Alabama, and I said, hey, bro, during the Great Depression, come on down here, man. We can't pick no more cotton, but we getting paid picking oranges. You'll be like, hell yeah, bro. So we from Alabama, are you gonna go to somebody's church from Georgia? No. You gonna go where everybody who came from Alabama, like Haines City, 90% of the black people in Haines City, they came from Enterprise, Alabama. Did you know that?
I've heard Mobile and Tuscaloosa
I can't hardly hear him, though.
my grandfather on my mom's dad came
Push
from
it, push it.
Alabama and came down to Lake. Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't hear him.
I said,
It's good now. Go ahead.
I've heard from places like Tuscaloosa,
Go ahead.
Baxley, Georgia, and as far as my granddad, my mom's dad was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who came down to Lake Wells to pick fruit.
Right.
You probably know him as Andrew Gator, but they called him Gator.
Yeah, yeah. So if he came from Tuscaloosa, why would he go to church with somebody from South Carolina? My name goes back 100 years in Lake Wells. My daddy used to own boarding houses. My daddy used to own, in fact, he owned almost all of D Street. But before I was born, my daddy owned boarding houses in Lake Wells because Lake Wells was a transit community. You would come down during the winter and pick oranges, but when fruit season was over with, you was in New York picking apples. You didn't have permanent residence like that.
You picked apples in New York, or?
Yeah, what I'm saying is when people pick oranges, I'm talking about Lake Wells now. Yeah. So they would pick. We were no different than the Mexicans. We pick oranges, we pick apples, we pick watermelons. That's how it was seasonal. So during the summertime, we were going picking something
as
else.
Well, a watermelon.
And then black folks would come back to Lake around October. What does he call it?
What was that? Excuse me.
He said he called it something.
Go ahead, y'all. Say long.
Yeah, he said he called it something. What did he call it?
I was saying that when I came out of high school, I followed the watermelon season for a few years, and I got a little taste of what it was like until it got sour in my point of view. It got political when I got my hands on those Jubilees and out there in the heat row and creep truck. So I've been there too.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So you got to look at so when I talk about all those churches, you got to be educated about how that came about. But you still have little. So now it's tribes. Now you have little tribes. You still have tribes.
It was tough. It wasn't easy.
You breaking up you breaking up bad, boy.
I don't know what's been going on with mine. I got to call Comcast. I've never had this. I got to get that fixed. I don't know what's going on with my broadband. I don't know. I need to call them though.
Hear me? We're getting a little bit of.
I hear you.
Yeah, getting a little blurry here.
But did I make sense?
Yes.
It's all about money. It's all about economics.
I don't know what's going on, fellas. Can y'all hear me? I think we lost
I hear you
Zarius.
very well. I hear you better than I hear him. It seems like he's gone.
I think
Yeah, I think his
we
because I
lost
hear
him.
you clear. I think that his yeah, I think he was getting a lot of latency. Interesting young man. My classmate. I know his family now. I have to connect like that. His family was my classmate. That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, man. So let's wrap this thing up, Professor. I gotta get up and give a long day tomorrow.
All right.
So let's give us a closing argument on what they can expect from Urban Matters and Voss Computers LLC in the upcoming Lake Wales landscape.
We're change agents.
What? Yes, sir.
I believe, based on the conversation that we had with the mayor and the things that he invited us to participate in terms of assisting the city to increase the quality overall and our own community, he was very open to that. And I'm honored that he was open and he invited us to participate and to do business with him. And I've never, since I've been researching this, I've never been in a position where a city official in Lake Wales invited us to do business on that level. I'm just knocked off my feet, and I'm looking forward to being able to contribute because we have something of value that he wants. And I'm just over the moon. And it was certainly a clear delineation, if you will, from begging to doing business.
Absolutely.
We wasn't begging, bro. We wasn't begging for assistance. We were, hey, Dr. Juice.
Yes, sir.
We were selling assistance.
Yes, sir. We did that, man.
And you did a good job of doing that, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Salute, fellas. Hey, we're gonna come in, and I want to go ahead. I want to definitely do some things that I wanted to do. If y'all want to tune in tomorrow, I should be able to be available around. It would be after the noon time. So if you guys want to link up tomorrow, I'll send out a link and we can link up and finish chopping up some of this heavy game. And I appreciate and I salute you, Brother Zary. Thank you for joining us. You are a man of your words. I F's with you, man. I mess with you heavy, man. And so, Professor, always is a pleasure. And y'all, we're going to make y'all part of the Urban Matters research team. Y'all keep that research coming in. Brother Zaris, if you have any research that you come across, you have my email address. You have my communications. So
yes, sir.
Get in touch with me, man. Send everything you can.
I'll be writing things down, taking pictures and videos.